years. When I was a young 21-year-old graduate student at Wayne State University, he came there to speak to us on the civil rights movement, on the struggle for black power, the struggle for Pan-Africanism, the struggle against war, the struggle against imperialism. His name is Willie Mukasa Dada. He hails from Chattanooga, Tennessee. He's been a fighter since a teenager. He joined the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee as a teenager, and he's been fighting ever since the 1960s. You name the struggles of the 1960s, and Brother Mukasa was there.
All right. In
1965, he was in Montgomery when they beat our people. The state troopers beat them down, and Mukasa and his comrades, they outmaneuvered the state police, and they mobilized the students at Alabama State University, and they continued to march through the streets. You can see the films and the documentaries. In 1966, after James Meredith was shot down in the northern Mississippi on the so-called March Against Fear, he was shot down by a white racist. Stokely Carmichael, Dr. Martin Luther King, Floyd McKissick, and others held a meeting in Memphis, Tennessee in June of 1966. And they decided that they were going to continue that march. And that became one of the most historic marches of the civil rights movement. And it was out of that march that the slogan for Black Power came about, and it shook the country and it shook the world. Stokely Carmichael is often credited with raising the slogan of Black Power because he was chair of the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee at the time. But it was Willie Ricks, and Carmichael admitted this, Kwame Ture admitted this in the Eyes on the Prize documentary, who actually advanced that slogan, who pushed that slogan, who pushed SNCC to raise the slogan in the cotton fields of the Delta region of Mississippi. And that slogan caught on in Mississippi, it caught on around the country, and it had a tremendous impact. Brothers and sisters, Mukasa has a son now who's a student at the Latin American School of Medicine in Cuba. And I know he's proud. We're all proud. Mukasa has traveled extensively throughout North America, throughout the Caribbean, throughout the African continent. He's been in Guinea. He was in Uganda back during the revolutionary periods of the 1970s and the 1980s. Brothers and sisters, without further ado, let's have a warm welcome for our warrior, Willie Mukasa Dada. Let's hear it from him. Come on up.
He back in Haiti. He needs to be home. Because he's nothing but an agent of imperialism. We call Uncle Tom's neo-colonialists. And they done set these neo-colonialists up all over the world. And the neo-colonialists ain't nothing but these politicians that act like they represent you, but they ain't doing a damn thing but staring the slave master and putting them in their pocket. And these ain't the people that Martin Luther King gave his life for. These ain't the people that Nat Turner gave his life for. These ain't the people that Marcus Garvey organized for. These ain't the people that Che Guevara fought for. But the agents of imperialism, they come in all colors. And we don't support you. If you put the Democratic Party before you put the people, you are a criminal. You are an enemy. The Democratic Party is not our friend. The Republican Party is not our friend. The American government is not our friend. The police and the prison industrial complex is not our friends, because if they were our friends, they would put the real criminals in jail. They would put the bankers in jail. They would put the judges in jail. We need to take over the schools. They use the schools to make us glorify those colonial murderers. The Pilgrims were nothing but a bunch of damn murderers. A bunch of murderers. We don't give a damn about no Columbus, Lincoln, Washington, Jefferson, and all those colonial forces. We don't care about no Greeks and Romans and all that old history that ain't got no meaning to us. Why we can't learn our African history? Why we can't learn about ourselves? Why we can't learn about the Sudan? Why we can't learn about Ghana, Mali, Songhai? Why we can't learn about our great leaders like Kwame Nkrumah, Sekou Touré, Marcus Garvey, Harriet Tubman? Why we don't know about ourselves? These schools are controlled by imperialism. We either take them over or burn them down. How you gonna have a school system and graduate the children into jail? Graduate the children into prison. This is wrong. And don't tell me that my children are dope boys. You put my boy in jail for having a handful of marijuana or marijuana seed, and they got airplane loads of dope. They growing dope all over the world. America is involved in dope. Coca-Cola is involved in dope. The United States government